Camera action.
That's right. Go. Alrighty. Well, welcome to Unpackaged Goods. My name's Jonathan Dieter. Tell me who I'm here with today.
I'm Hilary Coles,
I'm Emily Boschwitz.
and we're the co-founders of POCA.
And for those of you who are watching, these are like these beautiful new coffee syrups
Aren't they cute?
that they're amazing. Like I think that was probably the first thing that I noticed was like how beautiful the packaging is, but then also the fact that they're to go. And so
Yes.
I think like that's probably the one unique thing about you guys right now is like there are a lot of coffee syrups, but you guys seem to be the only like to go one, and you're really pretty with the like fun colors and feels very summery and spring. So why not? You guys have a really interesting background because I know that you guys met at a former career in life, and so I'd love to hear a little bit more about that journey of meeting each other. Why you kind of had this itch and like kind of knew working together was kind of destined, and then why coffee syrup? So that's a lot, but we'll kind of just you guys can tell us a little bit about your story.
The old tech to CPG pipeline
That's
is
right.
alive and well. Yeah. So Emily and I met. I co-founded Hims and Hers back in 2017 when we launched. Emily was our first marketing hire there. And so a lot of what I did in the day to day, I built out our physical products, built out our brand, was really focused and still am like this is where consumers where I like to spend my time. I'm psych major. I don't know. I just love people. I think people are really interesting. If there's like a trend, I want to understand why, even if it's not for me. Like I'm not. I don't. It doesn't resonate with me. And that is, and so we've always like complemented each other really well because Emily is super quant and analytical and just like a marketing genius. I always say like anything can be a billboard if Emily tries hard and believes in her. Like it's amazing. And I think that was part of our secret sauce at Hims and Hers is just knowing the customer really, really well and then getting in front of them. And when, the core thing that we really pushed on early days with Hims and Hers is that capital H healthcare, as I called them at the time, like big traditional healthcare 10 years ago was like, wellness is not a thing. It can't ever be lowercase h healthcare. Like,
Yeah.
you can't sit with us, basically. And we were like, well, yeah, like Andrew, co-founder and I at the time, who still runs the company, our CEO, he's amazing. We're like, yeah, but look at what everyone's doing today. Like people have these increasingly intense regimens around their workouts, around the way they're washing their hair, around their supplements. There's a lot of like interest in, and people are spending their dollars there. And cut to 10 years today, wellness has outpaced big pharma by like 4x, right? Like
It's crazy.
and that's all just because of human behavior. And I think really similarly, as we saw sort of like the rise of AI and optimization and the way things are so frictionless and it's so easy to go around your day and like not talk to anybody and just focus on like how many things did I do? How many steps did I do? What are all my macros? And it's like counting, justifying, earning. And like, but save for one category, which is like coffee and matcha, where people are still lining up. It's like the last vice we're allowed. Like we're not allowed to do drugs. You're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to smoke. Like you can't do anything anymore. Can't stay up late. Can't go to clubs. Like the last thing we have is coffee and matcha, and it's like a human experience. And so as we like watched what people were doing, it was very much like, well, people are still meeting IRL to get coffees. People are start like doctoring up, adjusting their drinks, matchas, whatever, according to their mood, and they're matching it to their outfits. It's like it's a form of expression, and it's a way to feel like more locked in. And our hope with what we're building at, like, yes, I'm so glad you think it's cute and beautiful. We can talk about the design later and how we thought about that, but we very much if Hims and Hers for me was about like how you empower consumers to feel in control of their healthcare and their decisions and feel good in their body. Like we've done a lot of optimizing in the last 10 years, and it's like for what? Like POCA is go out and live your life and do it and be with other people and that's it.
Yeah.
Went on. I had a lot of questions.
No, I love that. You make such a great point that like SNL did a sketch a couple of years ago that New Yorkers love nothing more than waiting in a big dumb line for the next
It's
5 minutes.
online. So good.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of that. When I saw that live, I was like, oh my God, are they watching me? Like, this is totally me. And there's this matcha cafe in New York. I think it's called 12 Matcha. And it like is notorious. It's like right on Bowery, like amazing matcha, always has a line. I've waited in line a couple times. But like you said, like the process of waiting and get together in person, like it's still sacred to a lot of us.
Yeah.
New York's a unique place right now, too. We were just there 2 weeks ago, and the amount of people that are just at cafes and restaurants experiencing it together with their phones down being human, like, we all just want to feel human right now. And it's an act of self-love to go enjoy a little treat. And it's so obtainable, where so much feels unobtainable today.
Totally. And not have to earn it. And I think, like, I joke, I grew up in like an Almond Joy household with like an Almond Joy mom, not an almond mom. Like she, in the sense that like we had like we weren't allowed to drink like sodas and stuff, but we had like butter and sugar and like all the things and treats. And I'm a big Croatian family, and like we show our love through treats, and it just never sat right with me still. And like now I have young kids too, to be like, okay, well, I can only have a treat if I've been really good and do all these things. And like, there's so much that is asked of like of a modern person today that like you will just crash out looking at the news if you're not careful. So like,
Totally.
we can't afford to burn out by 8 a.m. So like, take care of yourself, be good to other people, and like, and then practically, and we can go into maybe like more of the product qualities through this now too, is like not having sugar also unfortunately helps with that, because as much as I would love to be like an Almond Joy, like full mom and have treats all day long, like real treats, I am 37 and I will crash out and feel horrific. And so we started looking into like, okay, well, we love these little treats. We would meet up and work on our ideas and like have these little treats, but like busy morning, haven't eaten, have a vanilla latte, feel horrific afterward, feel really good and then really bad. We looked it up, and it's as much sugar in a medium vanilla latte as in 2 donuts. So I was like, oh, well,
Insane.
That's probably why I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good. And so we started looking at like, well, with all of the innovations in food, women in STEM, what are we all doing here? Is there something better? And so literally like Emily got in the kitchen and was like, okay, let's tinker, let's play. Maybe it's not possible. And lo and behold.
So there's been all this amazing innovation in sugar science. Rare sugars like monk fruit. Monk fruit's in a lot of food, cereals, bars. It's a fruit from Southeast Asia I think it's like 250 times as sweet as sugar. You've got allulose, which is a derivative of dates and raisins. Stevia is also a great healthy product, but it comes with an aftertaste. We started to blend these different sugars with flavor. Then we thought, well, we all need more fiber in our life. That is just a fact of being human. And with this crazy protein craze, if you're increasing your protein intake, you need more fiber. Olipop and Poppy have led the way with chicory root and inulin, and it is
also slows the absorption of sugar. So you feel better longer, you're satiated longer, all those things.
And we found that we could make a really good tasting product with no aftertaste, and better yet, if we don't use sugar. We at first thought maybe we'll do a like 70% less sugar, but if we don't use sugar, the flavor actually attaches so much cleaner. And so you can actually go enjoy pistachio in your coffee and not just be like, oh, this is totally sweet, and like I kind of taste pistachio.
Yeah, and I've like, now we created something so good, in my opinion, that I've like ruined my own day, because I was in LA last week and I got a coffee from a great place, but I forgot that sugar sinks. And so I didn't get the little like stir thing, and I just had like an inch of syrup at the bottom. It doesn't dissolve. And so that was the other thing we learned by doing something that had actually 0% cane sugar in it, is that it actually dissolves, which is key to your point, Jonathan. If you're on the go and like you're on an airplane seat, you're sitting at a picnic, you're like, whatever, doing your little experimentos.
75% of drinks at Starbucks are iced. And nearly every drink at Starbucks has syrups in it, and it doesn't dissolve. And what we found with our formulation is that we could really have that clean throughout feel in a nice drink.
That's so interesting. Yeah, the iced movement, I think, has really become popular recently, where people are drinking iced coffee in the wintertime. Like, I think it is like when you're both bundled up, you get hot. But like you said, like, I'll drink iced drinks all day. But like, think about how the syrup gets stuck at the bottom, and then you get that last sip, and you're like, oh,
Yes.
that wasn't very good.
Yes.
I'm like, what did I just have? And it ruins the whole drink for you.
Yes.
Um,
And also,
with a
drinks
lot
are
of these,
expensive. Like we're in a tough economic climate. When we spend $9 on a drink, which sometimes, even as somebody who created syrups that I love and I think they win against, I would put them up against anything. I still sometimes you gotta just spend $9 and go outside and get your scratch the itch. But if it's not good,
Especially if you waited in that
Right?
big dumb line.
That's right. Then I'm like, oh my God, why did I wait in this?
Totally.
So you guys have really unique flavors, and obviously these don't come out of nowhere. Some of these are probably personal, like little sweet treats that you grew up loving that are nostalgic. Like, can you tell me a little bit about the flavor formulation and how you guys landed on the ones you guys have?
yeah, when we started looking at this whole space, and you're used to walking into the cafe and seeing the rows of the pumps that really haven't been innovated. It's the same ones that came out when our parents started going to cafes, right? The biggest flavor innovation is toffee nut, which all respect to toffee nut, but that's not what we see millennials and Gen Zs often on dessert menus. And so we wanted to be able to capture some of those feelings, also capturing the consumer demand that a lot of the drinks now are switching to matcha, which really benefit from a more fruit flavor. So, for example, putting strawberry in at launch was very, very purposeful because we know people are drinking matcha. The palates are shifting to more fruit within those matcha drinks, and that's been our surprise, but we kind of expected it to hit coming out of the gate. Yeah. Vanilla, she's the classic. You're going to see her in the older ones, but also or traditional setups. But there's a reason everyone picks some vanilla.
Yeah.
Pistachio is, I think, our answer to being a little bit more modern. And I don't know if you've tried it yet. It's
I have. It's really good.
It's good, right? And it's more, we're both more marzipan. Emily's family always does princess cake for your mom's birthday.
Yeah, for
right?
birthday.
Yeah. I grew up, my mom's allergic to nuts. And so when I first had an almond treat and something, I was like, oh my God. Almond, pistachio, it all blew my mind. College, I was like, whoa, give me all these nuts. It's so fun. And so we were like, let's do a pistachio, but let's do one that's feels really dessert-y and treat-forward-y. And that has been the one that we hear the most from people that they're already have an emotional connection to.
Fun fact though, vanilla is very hard to get right, though it is so standard. First, vanilla comes in so many different flavors, right? You got vanilla bourbon, vanilla bean. Vanilla is it's a very bitter flavor, and that hits in the back of your tongue differently. And so to get the right levels of vanilla and have it be a vanilla you'd expect from an ice cream and a treat versus a vanilla that you'd expect from a natural coffee flavor or chocolate flavor is just so different. And so that one probably took us the most time to finesse.
And we tried 17 different vanillas, and they all tasted different. And we tried another we tried every vanilla syrup that was on market, and there are good ones, but to your point, Jonathan, it's so much about what you grew up with, right?
Yeah.
If you grew up with a really and I don't mean this at all disrespectful, artificial vanilla as your core memory of every Sunday we would go and we would get this really specific vanilla, that's the vanilla you're going to build. And if you were really used to ice cream truck soft serve vanilla, and that's your platonic ideal of vanilla, that's the one you're going to build. And so I think that has been really interesting of you can give somebody you can tell someone it's vanilla and give it to 10 different people, and it's going to taste totally different for them too. So it's been learning, and we're really excited to be launching more flavors and have people add the little combinations to have their own secret menu as well.
Yeah. Oh, I can see that. I think that's, I'm excited to see what else you guys have coming up for the summer months. I definitely envision this, when I'm going up to Prospect Park and stopping back on the way and getting a large iced coffee, when it's hot out, having one of these and be boop, because the syrup options aren't great. And they're kind of in these mystery jars at the coffee shop. So you don't really know what's in it. And it usually comes
there.
Exactly. And so it's I think having the to-go bag is really nice. It's easy, it's fun. I think too for the working person who's on the go, maybe grabbing this, putting it in their car, in their purse, before they go to work. I think it makes it more accessible too. And so I'm super excited to see, like, I think I'm going to start using these more when it's warm out and I'm like on the go and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to go get a nice coffee. So in this kind of era that we see with a lot of people using GLP-1s and their diets changing, they're not eating as much, but then they're also becoming nutrient deficient. I mean, there's a lot of different side effects to GLP-1s.
Yeah.
How do you kind of see your syrups being positioned in that market?
Yeah, I think one thing that's really interesting that we are seeing organically happen that we expected, but it's coming a little bit faster, is in this push for protein. You have a lot of people who are having like cottage cheese and yogurt and like really trying to optimize, especially if you're on GLP-1s. Taking in a lot of protein is really important, but like it's mentally tough to eat that much protein often every day. There's not a ton of variety. So we're seeing people add, caramel to cottage cheese. We're seeing people add vanilla to their yogurt bowl and being able to have a little bit of variety as they hit their broader health goals, which I think is really important. And then again, I think like the sweet treat coffee is like the last stand of what people do, and often what we hear from people, and we've had a ton of dietitians and nurses reach out because that's what they say, and even for themselves, they're like, even like practice what you preach, like this is my thing as well, and I've always looked for something, but for whatever reason, like sugar alcohols hurt my stomach. I can't stand the aftertaste of certain alternatives. I just can't like give it up, and so it's been really fun to help and be on the journey with people there.
Yeah, I think that's really neat that you can't have dietitians being like, no, this actually doesn't hurt my tummy, or this actually is something I can add and recommend. Because at the end of the day, like you want people to feel good when they take your product. They want you like to feel something, maybe a little bit of nostalgia.
Yes.
So you talked a little bit about like, your mom was an Almond Joy mom. Like, I guess, where did you guys grow up? Like, where are you from originally?
I'm from San
you
Francisco.
both?
I'm sixth generation San Francisco on my mom's side. My dad's side, Holocaust survivors moved to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and they met in San Francisco. And my journey is that I'm actually super dyslexic, so I couldn't read or write until 7th grade at all. I went to 4 elementary schools, and I think through it all just like what makes people human. Like I had to learn how people were reacting by their face to understand how to respond. And I think like there's just something so special and like bringing people together and giving them a shared purpose and something to love. And that's what we were really trying to do with POCA, is just like help people feel like they have a presence and a reason to be alive again without all of the compromise. And I think the one thing that has taken us through our careers consistently is the building community, bringing people together. Even at Hims and Hers, it was how do we help kind of air out these common problems we all have as human and make it feel like a movement. And so that's what's brought us on this journey together.
Totally. And I grew up
I
in
love that.
Toronto. I'm a Canadian. We're hiding amongst you all. And a single mom. I had two, and then I had 2 younger sisters. So my mom worked a lot, and so we were always hustling, and we did a lot, and we survived on a lot of treats, and would have like the occasional broccoli to not get gout or scurvy, or not gout, scurvy. But we were always like, my mom worked like 3 jobs. We were always working, and family of Croatian immigrants, so like definitely have that idea where like food is love and talking about things and being together. And so, and Emily and I always just like loved food, loved talking about food together and like meeting over things and instilling that in our own kids today. I went to business school in Chicago, so that's what brought me to the US, met my husband there, and then moved to San Francisco and met Andrew, who is the co-founder of Hims. And so that's what got me here.
So neat, both of you.
Yeah.
We both have 2 young kids, and what's been so fun about building POCA is we've gotten to do it with them, and so we have tried, as you can imagine, dozens of
crazier.
flavors.
Way crazier building a second time with kids. I can't even tell you.
We all figure it out. Life is just constantly finding new balance, but it's so fun because we're having them participate. Like we make them bubble milk is what we call it. So we foam like essentially cloud milk, and we put the flavor in, and they have their favorites. They're distinguishing like where different flavors are hitting on their tongue, what's sweeter, and It's
I
been
love
pretty
that.
magical.
Yeah.
We all can relate to something sweet.
Definitely instilling that.
Oh.
Yeah. And we're like, when I was building
That's so
the
cute.
2016, 2017, it was like, what music do I want to listen to hype myself up to get ready for this like investor meeting and all these things? And now I'm like actively on a call, turning up like Daniel Tiger, holding on for dear life. It's such a different experience this time. But yes, I agree. It's fun to have the kids involved and have them see something that we're excited about.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I'm really glad you guys bring that up. Not only the personal journey, but like the part of being moms. I think like honestly, I admire founders who are moms because I think what you guys have to juggle at home being moms, like I have a lot of friends who are now having kids and like I'm like, whoa, like I don't have kids yet. And so juggling that and then also being a founder is like you guys are superhuman. So but I did, before you even brought up the kids, I wanted to ask like, so how do you like balance like now in this like world of like clean food and like historical legacy brands and food, like what we grew up eating, like how do you balance like what to give them?
That's a good question. I think that what you learn about having kids is like who they are as people is they're just born with, and they're gonna have certain preferences. And as a mom, we are gonna try our best to give them wholesome ingredients. We're gonna try our best to cook when we can. At the same time, we're busy people, like trying to get by, trying to have careers, trying to make sure they get to school on time. And so you sometimes have to find efficiencies. And we're so lucky that there's been so much innovation in the food space to provide better options. And, you know, we try all of the snacks that exist for the kids. I still can't wait till there's another drink that kids can have that's not a juice box or a Capri Sun, but they love it. And so, you know, I will say, like, we're always trying to try our best and create diverse meals. And some days are better than other days. And one thing I try to do is always sit down and eat dinner with the family to create that memory and like the love of eating food together. Because then I think it doesn't matter what the food is, whether it's healthy or you're going to a pizza restaurant. Like there's nothing more special than making those memories.
Yeah, I think we're also very passionate about dinner. I mean, I absolutely give Jennifer Garner and Once Upon a Farm all my money. My kids have one of those pouches every day. But I'm like, oh, it's in the refrigerator. It has like Whole Foods. Like, great. Because like I'm definitely not going to throw in dates and all the things in the morning. I just don't. My mornings are like are crazy. I try to involve them in like the cooking. I do love to cook. I do love to bake. So I try to involve them in that. Whether it's just like, I think I've lowered my standards for like a beautiful meal, right? Like I would love to do like a beautiful Alison Roman like slow braise situation every day. A lot of the time it's just like throwing like a bunch of legumes or beans or whatever in a stock pot, and just like I get to work. We go work from home often, so like you know, you can just like adjust that, and you know that that's somewhat balanced. But yeah, I think it's figuring out and also having the moments where like you can just have ice cream and not overthink it either, and not trying to like villainize. I don't know. I felt like growing up, I don't know, how did you, like, was your mom more like almond or almond joy? Or I have a lot of memories of like sugar free. I'm like starting to be old enough where you're like, oh, it's all just a cycle, right? Like it was sugar free, it was fat free, and then it was whatever. So I don't know. How did you grow up?
That's a great question. I like going to the grocery store with my mom as a kid was something I really enjoyed, and she cooked all the time. I was spoiled. Like she cooked almost every meal, and so like I grew up with like very clean ingredients. Like people are always like, how did you get in like the food space? How did you like initially fall in love with food? And like my mom tells this story of like her and my dad took me to Hawaii, and I was like maybe a year old, not even, and they like called the front desk, and like she had a blender sent up to the room so she could like blend all of her own like baby food. And so but that's like, she was like, obviously like we come from a family of bakers. Her mom's parents, when they came to the States, they opened a bakery in Chicago, and so we have all of these like family recipes for like pies and cookies that are like 100 years old, like still handwritten, that she has. And so she like would make a bunch of sweets as a kid, so like I love like pies, cookies, cakes, like you name it. But yeah, obviously, like I didn't have soda or candy really at all growing up as a kid, which I'm like happy about because like I've never had cavities, which is great. But then at the same time, it's like now that I have like I love a Coca-Cola now, so I don't think it would have changed my life at all had I like grown up like always being able to drink Coca-Cola. And it's not like I couldn't have it at all, but it's just like it wasn't what I was first going to. It was more of like a glass of milk at dinner.
Right. Yeah, milk was like, if you're crazy, you get water and milk. Those are your options. We were very much. But like,
yeah,
go
and
butter your bread. It's fine.
yeah,
No mercy. Yeah.
exactly. And like, I think we even still had like when you get the milk cartons or glass things delivered to our house, like in California, like I'm 32, we're turning 32. So, yeah, it's crazy to think about how food has changed, and now people just order it on their phone. Instacart shows up at your door, and it's like, I think that time at the grocery store for me was like very fun. I still, when I'm home visiting my mom, will go to the grocery store because it's like my happy place. And like, you know, when I was a little kid, I knew if I was like, we got all of our groceries done, like I could always get an iced cookie at the bakery.
Yes,
And it was Gelson's in the Palisades, and so it was like I knew if I was good, like all right, yeah, it was an amazing grocery store. I got my iced cookie. So I think like that like ritual of like going to the grocery store, farmers markets, like, and like you said, like sitting down and having a family meal, like that was something my parents like emphasized every single night. Like at the table, the four of us, obviously there weren't really phones yet, but then
Right,
like
the phones is a massive thing.
yeah, no phones. You're talking about the day, like parents are asking us about stuff, and I think that has really been lost in today's world. Like eating in front of the television was like I've never heard of that before as a kid. And when people would do that, it was like, what? You're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think some of our favorite memories that we cherish are these little moments of indulgence, like whether it was having you were home alone with dad and you were going to eat in front of the TV this one time, or that little sweet treat after school. My dad, after a long day commuting to a dyslexic school, 5 hours commuting a day, every day after school, he'd pick me up at the bus stop and we would go get frozen yogurt or a latte. And like that ritual carried me through so much, you know, real hardship at the time. And, you know, they're the memories we keep forever. And so I think it's okay to go have these moments. Everything we do, like we do it in moderation. Every body's different. Every kind of diet is going to be different. You got to listen to your own.
One thing we're trying right now, though, I'm actually meant to tell you this, is a company called Chef. Have you guys heard of it, with an S? Because we are transparently really busy. I do usually make dinner 5 out of 7 nights. Lately, I've not, but I've been able to outsource 2 nights a week through Chef, and it is. I
have heard of this. Yeah, it's cool.
It connects you with like local chefs, and some of them like they're, you know, it's Ethiopian cuisine. It's
so cool.
Thai. It's all those things, and so that's been a nice hack for me. Feeling like I'm not doing takeout or things where I don't know exactly what goes in it. Like somebody made it. It's not me in the same way, but it's like you're feeling that, and we've been able to like expose our kids to more things that like I don't necessarily know how to cook or cook well. And
that's
so
cool.
Fun learning.
That's super cool. What's both of your favorite like sweet treat, like indulgence?
Honestly, still to this day, it's frozen yogurt. And I don't know if it's because of the memory of it, but like a vanilla frozen yogurt with rainbow sprinkles. I definitely got a little chubby freshman year of college because I would do more sprinkles than frozen yogurt at the cafeteria.
Yeah, the soft serve machine at the dining hall was definitely lethal.
My mom was known for her chocolate chip cookies. Like good day, bad day, things were getting marked by chocolate chip cookies. Someone's coming over, they wanted chocolate chip cookies. So that's like my number one. And I like, you know, I'll dabble in a taste. I'll see what's up in the cafes. I'll try a bench. But I'll get our recipe is basically like the Thomas Keller recipe. That add vanilla. And then you can like
that sounds really good.
That's fancy.
That's just a chocolate chip cookie. I'm gonna eat a fancy dessert. What about you?
I like that. Ice cream. I will finish a pint of ice cream in a sitting at night. And like, I love it.
Brands? What are we doing with these days?
Great question. Like, I love Jenny's. I love Van Leeuwen's. Jenny's or Van Leeuwen's has one that's a Marinberry, it's called. I've been in kind of like a berry kick. Anything like cherries or berries, anything with cheesecake in it, or kind of but then like I love a chocolate or an Oreo or fudge or something along those lines.
Well, then
so,
you got
a fudge ripple.
So on that note, Graters. So Graters is Cincinnati.
Love Graters. Yep.
Is Columbus, I think. If you do the black raspberry chip, it is like black raspberry, that perfect swirl. I don't think there's anything better in the world, actually.
So I love that ice cream as well. My family, both sides are from the Cleveland area, and so
Right.
I moved to Cleveland going into high school. My parents got divorced, and my mom, my sister, and I moved back to Cleveland. So she still lives in Cleveland, and so yeah, like Jenny's is a Columbus brand, Grater's is a Columbus brand. We have some good ice cream.
Good ice cream, which means
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm a sucker for ice cream. But this has been so much fun. I could probably just go on and on. Like, you guys are just so cool, and I think what you're building is so intentional. I can really tell it's built on like core values and love, and you guys really want like those to come through, not only in the syrups but like the lifestyle that you guys are promoting. And I think that's super important as founders to really live that, and I can sense that from both of you.
Oh,
That's
thank
okay.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so I'm super excited to see the new flavors come out. You
yeah.
definitely have a fan. I sent some to my sister in Dallas too, because she's like, "Oh, those are so pretty. I need some of those." So I was like, "Here, I have a couple boxes." So she'll be getting them soon. Give you guys some
That's
feedback.
so cool.
But
Yeah, we worked
yeah,
with
I
the
guess
Glossier team on the packaging because we really wanted it to feel like a fashion beauty moment, that like dopamine of like seeing a really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably less of a lip oil guy, but like when you see like a new lip oil in your bag, you're like, you know what? Amazing. I have this and turn my day around. So we've worked with Mini Mega, who's amazing.
Sometimes
and
all
it's
you
really
need
fun.
is a little lip gloss and a little coffee syrup, and your
Oftentimes.
day.
I mean, then you can't
that's
tell
what
me
I've heard.
no. You're just so
That's what
back, baby.
That's right, exactly. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about with the brand and convey that we haven't touched on yet?
No, I think we're like, 30 days in. It's been really, the things that are really exciting is just how we're interacting with the community and what's resonating with other people. So like the creativity, the way like someone just submitted a picture of like a box that they bedazzled. So freaking cute. Of course a POCA queen would. The POCA, the way that people are like sharing them and talking about them, the way that they're putting them on bowls and yogurt and chia pudding and all these things that like we didn't tell them to do, like that I think is so cool. I think the way that they are, we had a little event in New York, someone brought me like a scrunchie that they had made. I think there's just like this desire for connection and for sweetness that's resonating, and so that's been the best thing and something we're excited to keep building.
That's so cool. That is special when people start to take what you've built and really like make it their own.
Yeah, totally.
That's so cool. Well, if you guys find yourself in New York anytime soon, I would love to get together.
Yes.
Get a coffee.
And yeah, we'll get a coffee. We'll wait in a line.
The bigger the better.
That's right. And if I may find myself in San Francisco, I'll look you guys up as well, and we'll definitely schedule a separate chat. Talk more. But this was so fun. Thank you guys. I'm really I'm glad we could do this.
Thanks so much, Jonathan. So nice to meet
Bye.
you.
Awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.
You too. Bye.
You're watching Unpackaged Goods. I'm your host, Jonathan Dieter. Welcome back. So we had an amazing interview with the POCA founders. Another week, we're back. Alrighty, so let's dive into the news. We'll keep it quick and short this week. So let's start with the deal of the year. Unilever is officially merging its food division with McCormick. We've been tracking this for a few weeks now since the talks first started to surface. Now we have the details. And the details are even more interesting than the headline. So let's dive in. The combined entity has approximately $20 billion in revenue. The combined company is worth over $60 billion in revenue. Unilever retains around 65% ownership. They also receive a one-time payment of $15.7 billion. The combined portfolio includes Hellmann's, Knorr's, Cholula, Frank's Red Hot, Old Bay, Stubbs, plus McCormick's entire spice business. So why the $15.7 billion payment changes everything? This isn't just a divestiture. Unilever is getting paid to shed its food division. $15.7 billion in cash. Let me say that again. $15.7 billion in cash. And the cash goes straight to Unilever's balance sheet. And we know exactly where that's going. They've made that clear. Beauty, personal care, and wellness acquisitions. Even if 10% of that cash, $1.57 billion, goes into beauty M&A, every founder in the beauty and wellness space should have their data room ready to go. Unilever's food division has been the anchor weighing them down for years now. Now it's gone, and they got nearly $16 billion to remove it. This is the most elegant, straightforward divestiture I've seen in CPG. period. Why McCormick wins. It transforms them overnight from a spice specialist to one of the largest food companies in the world. They already proved the condiment thesis with Cholula, Frank's Red Hot, and French's. Adding Hellmann's and Knorr is a natural extension. Same consumer, same aisle, same occasion. The distribution synergies are immediate and obvious, and it's the same retail buyers, same shelf, same consumption moments. McCormick's operational discipline applied to Unilever's food brands should improve the margin. So what this means for the industry as a whole. This is the exclamation point on the thesis that we've been building for a while now. The diversified conglomerate era is over. Unilever chose beauty. McCormick chose food. General Mills chose pets. And KDP is splitting into beverages and coffee. The pattern is universal, and it's happening across every category simultaneously. Every diversified CPG company in the world should be studying this deal. The companies still trying to be everything to everyone are the ones that will be next to restructure. Unilever also held talks with Kraft Heinz. This is an interesting angle. The fact that they chose McCormick over Kraft tells you a couple things. McCormick is a cleaner strategic fit. Condiments and pantry staples align. Kraft Heinz would have created more overlap and more antitrust complexity. McCormick was the better partner, and the market will validate that. Segment number 2. Keurig Dr. Pepper just acquired JDE Peet's, or as you probably know them as Peet's Coffee, and then announced it's splitting the public entity into 2 separate companies. Beverage Co. That's going to include Dr. Pepper, Snapple, Core, and the full beverage portfolio. Global Coffee Co. will include Keurig, Peet's, plus JDE's massive European brand, Jacobs, Dewey, Egberts, L'Or, Tassimo, and Sensio. Combined revenue over $25 billion, being reorganized into 2 focused entities. So why the split matters? This is the same thesis as Unilever and McCormick. One diversified company becomes 2 focused ones. Each company gets a cleaner growth strategy for investors, and each company gets an independent M&A strategy and capital allocation. Beverage Co. can pursue beverage acquisitions without coffee dragging on the narrative. Global Coffee Co. can pursue international expansion without the beverage business creating noise. The Global Coffee Co. opportunity. This becomes one of the largest pure-play coffee companies in the world. The K-Cup ecosystem is matured domestic, but massively underpenetrated international. JDE Peet's gives them a European infrastructure that Keurig alone never had. Overnight access to consumers across dozens of markets. The at-home brewing market international still has enormous runway. 2 mega splits in 1 week. Food gets carved out so Unilever can focus on beauty. KDP and JDE, that's a mouthful. Beverages and coffee get separated into 2 focused entities. The pattern is identical, even though the categories are different. Focus beats diversification every time. Market is telling you this louder than ever. It's also worth noting that KDP, Keurig Dr. Pepper, is the same company that acquired BAI from Ben Weiss for $1.7 billion. And Ben Weiss turned around and started Crooked Pop, a new hard soda that launched this week. Segment 3, Chomps hits $900 million in revenue. So according to Forbes, Chomps is on track to top $900 million in revenue this year, up from $600 million in 2025. That's roughly 36% growth at massive scale. In meat sticks. Let the numbers sink in for a moment. $900 million. Clean label, grass-fed, no sugar, no artificial anything. And they're one of the brands that Bain just put on their Insurgent Brands report, approaching $1 billion in a category that most people still underestimate. So here's the competitive context. 2 weeks ago, we covered PepsiCo launching Good Warrior meat sticks. We said it was validation. We said it was validation and competition arriving on the same truck. Chomps' response to PepsiCo? Another $240 million in growth. When the Insurgent brand is already doing $900 million in revenue, and the incumbent just launched, the moat is already built. Archer secured a $100 million credit line from JP Morgan and is approaching $500 million in revenue. And Jack Link's went fully clean label. The meat snack category is one of the most dynamic in CPG right now. What Chomps teaches us, they didn't pivot. They didn't chase trends. They didn't add protein soda or functional gummies. They made clean meat sticks and kept making them better. Same product, same positioning, same consumer. Just more doors, more velocity, more execution. And while everyone else was chasing the next big thing, Chomps was compounding. That's the power of solving one problem really well. $660 million to $900 million in 1 year. The compounding effect of velocity and distribution. So the $1 billion question, does Chomps cross $1 billion this year or next? Segment 4, the velocity phenomenon. So these are some pretty big brands that came out of nowhere with year 1 sales. So we're going to dive into this. So I'm calling this the velocity phenomenon. And I'm coining that because the speed at which certain brands are scaling right now is like anything I've ever seen before. Let's start with IM8. They just made headlines for bringing on NBA superstar and champion Giannis Antetokounmpo. They hit $100 million in revenue in 11 months. Founded in late 2024 by Prenetics and David Beckham, their longevity supplements. They reached $100 million in annual recurring revenue in 11 months. They're anticipating $180 million for 2026. Giannis Antetokounmpo just took a minority equity stake and joins other athletes on the table, WTA world number 1 Ariana Sabalenka and Ali Berman. So let me put that in context. Most consumer brands take 5 to 7 years to reach $100 million. Some never get there. IM8 did that in a year. The Prenetics backing provides clinical infrastructure. They're a NASDAQ-listed health science company. That's manufacturing, testing, formulation capabilities that most supplement startups don't get access to. Then you bring on the athlete roster. David Beckham, Giannis, Sabalenka, Berman. It's not an endorsement, it's distribution. Each athlete brings their own audience, their credibility and performance and longevity, and authentic use. The combination of clinical grade infrastructure and global athlete distribution is what produces over $100 million in 11 months. This is a new model. It's not DTC or retail first, it's athlete ecosystem. In other supplement news, Mars Men just hit $100 million in 18 months. Crazy, these supplement companies. Natural testosterone supplement, they hit $100 million run rate in less than 18 months. L-Catterton just led their Series A for $27.5 million. Active ingredients in this stuff includes, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, fenugreek, tongat, Ali, zinc, and boron. Sounds pretty good to me. L-Catterton leading the Series A tells you everything that you gotta know. This is the same firm shopping Thorum around for $4 billion. When L-Catterton sees Mars Men's velocity and decides to lead the round, they're running the Thorn playbook again. Acquire or invest early in a science-backed, high-velocity brand, professionalize operations, scale into new channels, exit at a massive premium. They've done it before. They're doing it again. Kilgore MD hit 40 million in 1 year. So what's driving this? Social media is a distribution channel, not just for awareness, but for actual sales. TikTok Shop is compressing the awareness to purchase funnel in seconds. Athlete and influencer could be partnerships that turn audiences into customers overnight. Clinical and scientific infrastructure that gives brands immediate credibility, consumer demand for specific functional benefits that existing brands aren't meeting. The men's health category in particular is exploding because it's massively underserved. Crete closed a $20 million Series B led by Alliance Consumer Partners and Mike Repole's family office, Impact Capital. Unilever Ventures also participated. But why Mike Repole matters than other investors on this cap table? His track record. Vitamin Water. Built it, sold it to Coca-Cola for $4.2 billion. Body Armor. Built it, sold it to Coca-Cola again for $5.6 billion. Almost $10 billion in hydration. This man has made Coca-Cola write him checks for almost $10 billion. When Mike Repole puts money behind creatine gummies, he's seeing the same category trajectory he saw in enhanced water and sports drinks. He doesn't invest in trends. He invests in categories he believes will produce billion-dollar outcomes. Crete has sold over 20 million gummies. They're the top-selling creatine gummy brand at Target, and they launched creatine with electrolytes last week. Category creator and category leader simultaneously. Unilever Ventures was early, and they keep doubling down. The category thesis. Creatine went from a bodybuilding supplement to a mainstream wellness ingredient. The gummy delivery format solved the adoption barrier. No scooping, no mixing, no chalky powder. Create identified both the ingredient trend and the format innovation simultaneously. That's why Repole invests. It's not about creatine. It's about the category creating potential, as easy as eating candy. If creatine gummies follow the trajectory of protein bars or collagen powder, this is a multi-billion-dollar category. And Crete is the first mover. Segment 6, the Casamigos alumni effect. Another Casamigos alumni is back, this time with Por qué no? So I'm coining this on the podcast. It's called the Casamigos alumni effect. All right, so for a little bit of context, last couple of weeks, we heard the headlines of George Clooney, Randy Gerber, and Mike Meldman launching Crazy Mountain, a non-alc beer. Now, Lee Einsenlidler, the former CEO, he launched Por qué no, a canned cocktail this week. Lauren Stubfield, Casamigos and Lilo veteran, she joined Biro. Diageo is extending Casamigos into RTD formats, ready to serve cocktails launched this month. So why this matters? Casamigos sold to Diageo for $1 billion. That single exit created a network of operators who understand premiumization, cultural brand building, and spirits distribution at the highest level. Those operators are now seeding the next generation of beverage brands across multiple categories. Non-alc craft beer, canned cocktails, RTD cocktails. Casamigos DNA is spreading across the entire beverage landscape. This is more productive than any accelerator program in the US. Y Combinator produced tech founders, Casamigos produced beverage founders. And 7, some big headlines that we wanted to touch on. So I actually got sent these early and I love them. They're really good. The Cloud protein chips. They're thin, they're crispy. If you ever liked baked Lay's back in the day, kind of remind me of those. Kardashian snack brand, Cloud. They are launching protein chips exclusively on Target on April 8th, which is my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Mackenzie. Soon to be my co-host. 7 grams of protein, non-GMO, avocado oil, gluten-free, seed oil-free. Sweet Heat, Nacho, and Buffalo. I had the Buffalo. It was really good. This was kind of a funny one. What I think started as an April Fool's joke turned into a real collab. So we have Liquid IV and Grillo's Pickles. They collabed on a dill pickle hydration multiplier. So like I said, it started as an April Fool's joke, but they actually made the product, which I think is really where brands missed on April Fools. Everyone spent more time on this one day coming up with fictional products than they do on most of their marketing, when some brands actually created the product. And I think it created positive buzz in a way to then capitalize on that buzz. So I thought that was smart. So segment 8, rapid fire, everything else. So we talked about KDP and JDE Pete's. Eagle Park Brewing acquired Soul Boxer. Once Upon a Coconut acquired Punched Energy. Standing Ovation raised $34.2 million for precision fermentation. Interesting. APG invested in Dossier. The fragrance dupe economy is real. All right, a couple launches. Proda, protein soda. They officially launched at Sprouts. Very interesting. This is from the former Suja CEO. Bloom Sparkling Energy launched in Canada. Brew True Mushroom Coffee. So this was launched anonymously by apparently a CPG vet that sold, scaled a company. So this is a mushroom coffee gummy. Interesting marketing angle. I'll be interested to see what he does or what she does. We'll never know. Or will we? Alex Earl, she launched and did like $1 million in like 8 minutes, which is wild. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview with the POCA founders. It was so fun speaking with them. Excited for more interviews to come up in the next coming weeks. We're going to chop this up. We're going to release it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. If you are listening for the first time and you haven't subscribed, please head to the link in our bio or subscribe to the show. We'd love to have you. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, wherever you get your news. And yeah, I'm so grateful to be able to do this. It's really, really fun. And to everybody that listens and takes the time to listen, give me feedback, give me their thoughts, it makes it all worth it. So we'll see you next week. We out.